Okay, so I I'm going live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 seconds. Good evening and welcome to the podcast. I'm really glad you're here tonight. I've called you all here tonight to tell you about a new and very exciting website. Now, this website, I'm going to pull it up on the screen here. This website is something I've been doing with the Lancaster Motel, and this is a way to celebrate modern and vintage snowmobiling, as well as the colorful and prolific history of Lancaster, New Hampshire, as it pertains to the snowmobile. Lancaster just has an incredibly rich history when it comes to snowmobiling, and I don't know why that went away. Hopefully, that's going to come back. Okay, it came back. And this is just a wonderful way to celebrate that. So the Lancaster Motel has been working with myself as well as the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame to put this together. We've been doing some interviews with some notable people in snowmobile history, especially people in Lancaster's snowmobile history. We've also been gathering photographs of Lancaster's racing history, snowmobile history, so on and so forth. And we've also been speaking with the Lancaster Snowmobile Club, the Snowdrifters, and it's been a heck of a project. And we're getting to a point now we've got some content together. We're going to start sharing in earnest on this Facebook page, and I encourage you to join this Facebook page. You can see the link in the description. And if you click on it, it'll take you to that page, and you can also watch this podcast over there because all of my podcasts are simulcast on this Snowmobile City USA Facebook page. So let's take a closer look. Let's see if I can fill the screen with this page, and we'll scroll around a little bit. It's taken a minute to catch up with me here. But we've got over 1,200 fans on this page, and we've been getting some, as you can see here, we've got some historic images from Lancaster and its racing heyday in the 60s and 70s. There's another historic photograph. And we've got a whole bunch more of those coming. We also have videos. Here's one of a dinosaur sighting on a Yamaha snowmobile, a vintage Yamaha snowmobile. If you want to watch that video, go on over there and click the link. Here's a video of some racing mantas. Now, not all of these take place in Lancaster. There's modern snowmobiles, vintage snowmobiles from everywhere across the U.S. and Canada. But for the most part, it is a celebration of Lancaster and its snowmobile history. Here's another video, another image, an old image from probably the early 70s, late 60s or early 70s of Lancaster's rich snowmobile history. Here's an image from a snowmobile show, a vintage snowmobile show back in 2016, back in Lancaster, New Hampshire. More images. There's a simulcast of a podcast I did the other day. More vintage images. It's just a really fun website. As you can see here, there's also things about modern snowmobiling, and my podcast is simulcast on there, and lots of great content on that page. So I encourage you to go over there. The link is in the description. And again, this is a collaboration between myself, Mike at Vintage Snowmobile Lovers, and the Lancaster Motel. The Lancaster Motel is the catalyst for this and had the idea for it. They're subsidizing a lot of it, but myself, Mike at Vintage Snowmobile Lovers, and the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, as well as the Lancaster Snowdrifters Snowmobile Club, which incidentally is the first snowmobile club in America. So how does that come to be the first snowmobile club of America? Let me tell you a little bit about Lancaster, New Hampshire's rich history as it pertains to the snowmobile. Let's rewind the clock back to 1959. Back in 1959, that is when the first Ski-Doo snowmobiles were imported to the USA, and they were imported through Lancaster, New Hampshire. And the gentleman who was involved with that, Paul Crane, is still alive and kicking, and he owns Crane's Snowmobile Museum, which is in Lancaster, New Hampshire. So if you ever want to visit a really nice vintage snowmobile museum, go on over to Crane's Snowmobile Museum. In fact, I've got a graphic I can put up about the museum. It's a 50 by 100 foot building with over 100 snowmobiles inside, 100 vintage snowmobiles. And it's by appointment only. So if you're planning to attend to go to the Snowmobile Museum, you want to call ahead to arrange a time. Also, you've heard about the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. Well, they are based out of Lancaster, New Hampshire as well. There's a corner of Crane Snowmobile Museum that is dedicated to the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame. And there's a whole corner there with all of the plaques and photographs of all the inductees. And it's definitely worth taking a swing over there to check that out. So, since snowmobiling was happening so early, the first Ski-Doo snowmobiles were imported into Lancaster, New Hampshire. It makes sense that just a few short years later, in 1964, the Lancaster Snowdrifters Snowmobile Club was founded. Paul Crane was also one of the founding members of that. That was back in 1964, the first snowmobile club in America. And yes, folks, I do push Lancaster and the Lancaster Motel and the Crane Snowmobile Museum, the Eastern Racing Hall of Fame. I push these things very hard and very often. If you're a regular on my podcasts, you see and hear about these things all the time. And yes, I'm a cheerleader for the East. I'm a cheerleader for Lancaster. I'm also a cheerleader for vintage snowmobiling. So I don't exclude people from other parts of the country, but I do like to make some noise here in the East and let people know that yes, the East has a very much alive and vibrant vintage snowmobile scene, and the epicenter of all of that is Lancaster, New Hampshire. And I don't know if the screen is locking up for you. It was just locking up for me, but it seems to be over it. But the other thing I wanted to tell you about, aside from this vintage snowmobile page, if you're just joining us, please jump on this page. The link is in the description. I'd love to get a whole bunch of new followers of this page. It's devoted to modern and vintage snowmobile enthusiasts and the people who love them. It is also is a celebration of Lancaster, New Hampshire's rich snowmobile history, which I've just been talking about. I'm going to get on the comments here and check that for a second. See what we've got coming in for comments real quick. Alden Banks is saying good evening from Bristol, New Brunswick. How you doing, Alden? Alden is a regular viewer of the podcast, as is Saunders Jeffrey, watching the program. We thank you for being on. And he's also saying he's from Kingston, Ontario. Well, thank you for coming on. We really appreciate it. So the other thing I wanted to mention before we go is that the Lancaster Motel is still having their 2-for-1 special that I've been talking about all month. They are offering, if you're able to snowmobile during the week, they're offering 2 nights for the price of 1 during the middle of the week. It's a great way to save an awful lot of money and ride some incredible trails. They've been getting plenty of snow. The trails are in great shape, and the trails go right behind the motel. So you can park your rig right there, unload it, and everything is right on the trail. And again, you're riding those historic legacy trails that were created as far back as 1964 by the Lancaster Snowdrifters Snowmobile Club. And you do need to be a member of have to have an active membership in a snowmobile club to take advantage of this promotion. And if you don't have a membership for a local club, I encourage you, and as does the Lancaster Motel, because they have sign-up forms right there at the motel, to join and become a member of the Lancaster Snowdrifters Snowmobile Club. Not only does that satisfy the requirement to be an active member of a snowmobile club, but you are joining the first snowmobile club in America. Once you're finished with your trail riding in Lancaster, you then take that card home, put it in a frame, put it on the wall, and you can tell your friends that you're a member of the first snowmobile club in America. It's a very special thing. And when you're booking your motel at the Lancaster Motel, once you're finished booking your motel room, you want to then call Crane's Snowmobile Museum and book a time to visit the museum, because it is by appointment only. So what other, let me ask you this, what other snowmobile destinations, at least in the East, offer such an incredible combination of snowmobiling past, and present? It's a wonderful thing. It's not many destinations that I can think of can offer some wonderful trail riding on legacy trails that were created by the first snowmobile club in America. And just a short walking distance away, you can visit Crane's Snowmobile Museum. There's over 100 snowmobiles inside there. It's an incredible opportunity. It's an incredible bargain. And only the Lancaster Motel can offer it. The other thing the Lancaster Motel does is they offer rooms by the month or by the season. So if you're coming from out of state, coming a long distance away, you can come up there, trailer all your sleds and all your gear, trailer that stuff all up there one time, leave it there, and this room is your home away from home for the season. You can go back to work the next week with just your vehicle. You can leave your trailer and your sleds and all your gear and helmets and suits, leave it all there at the Lancaster Motel and just shuttle back and forth with your vehicle. You don't have to tow all of that stuff every single time. This isn't for everybody, but for the right person, this is a wonderful situation. And the room rates by the month or by the season are extremely reasonable. And again, you're not only getting access to the trails, the motel is right on the trail, but you're also accessing all of this incredible history that I've been talking about. And if you're just joining us, the reason we're here tonight is to tell you about this this exciting Facebook page that I'm working on. I'm Mike with Vintage Snowmobile Lovers. I've been working on this page with the Lancaster Motel, the Eastern Snowmobile Racing Hall of Fame, and the Lancaster Snowdrifters Snowmobile Club, the first snowmobile club in America. And we've been working on this page, and we're just about ready to start start posting a whole lot of historic images, like the one you see here, historic images of Lancaster and its snowmobile racing heyday. We've gathered a whole bunch of images. We've done some interviews, and over the coming weeks and months, we're going to be posting more and more of that on this Facebook page. So we encourage you to jump on the page, become a fan, so that as these things are posted, that they will come up in your newsfeed and you can enjoy them. And we also have things about videos about vintage snowmobiles, videos about modern snowmobiles. Again, you see all of these historic posts here. That's just getting started. There's more of that to come. Here's some images from a vintage snowmobile show that happened in Lancaster back in 2016. And I keep saying it's also about modern snowmobiles, and I'm trying to find a post. Here's a post, I think, with modern snowmobiles. We also post some racing on there. So it's a real fun thing. And that's pretty much it. I'm running out of things to say about it, but I thank you so much for jumping on tonight to consider becoming a fan of this page. The link is in the description. We hope that you'll join us for this fun. It's a wonderful way to celebrate modern and vintage snowmobiles and the incredibly rich history of Lancaster, New Hampshire as it pertains to the snowmobile. It's going to be very hard to find a place, especially in the East, that has so incredibly much history. It has such a rich and vibrant history as it pertains to the snowmobile. Harder to find somewhere than Lancaster, New Hampshire. I thank you for joining me tonight. Have yourself a wonderful evening, and we will catch you on the other side.